Hi everyone and welcome to this interview. I'm your host, Sunny Gigi, and it's my pleasure to introduce today's guest. Today we have Jeremy, becoming relatively successful at a young age and going to school with not the best influential surroundings. Jeremy realizes that this is a recipe for disaster and could lead him to go off the derech. Finding the movie HaShem Took Back His Millions by Rabbi Reuven, Jeremy decides to make a change. We're excited to have him here with us today to share his experience. So without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so today we have Jeremy. Jeremy is 20 years old. He's currently going to yeshiva in Muncie, New York. He's been listening to Rabbi Reuven for about 2 years now. Jeremy, thank you very much for joining us here today.
Thank you so much.
Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your story growing up, and what were things like before you did tshuva, or what's your story?
Okay, so just first of all, I want to say thank you so much for having me. It's really a big school to be on the show, and inshallah I'll with it. I'm not really one to get behind the camera as much. I like to work more behind the scenes, but the rabbi asks, I can't say no. So I'm going to say before I start, I grew up with a much more experience than other people did. So I'm not going to say I made a full tshuva, because one of the mitzvot that we have to do is to make tshuva. We say it every day at the end of davening. So even though I came from a more like a Modern Orthodox background, I knew how to read Hebrew, I knew how to speak Hebrew a little bit, I had foundations of Torah. I think the main thing that I had to fix with everything was definitely hashkafa and so hashkafa and mitzvah observance, learning of halacha. So I'm going to say I start off with, grew up very, very normally. Staten Island is my hometown. The Rab is also from there. If anybody knows, he grew up there whenever he went to work in Manhattan, but he came back to Staten Island all the time when he used to be in New York. I guess, grew up in Staten Island. I went through the very modern Orthodox lifestyle. My family, we went to shul on Shabbat, like to go see the rabbi, the kesher with the rabbi connection. It was nice. We went to see the drushes once a week. Went, of course, for the high holidays and all the Chagim and everything, Sukkot. Every Pesach we went to Florida. This year we went to Florida also. So it's very normal that we grew up with a very, very traditional, but then again also somewhat mitzvah observant lifestyle. When I tefillin every single day, davening somewhat every single day. I'm not going to say 3 tefillahs, but definitely a shachrit and sometimes a ma'ariv and a mincha around here. And then just following that schedule up and going through it through middle school all the way into high school. And it's very, very, it just seems very standard. I did what my parents did, they did what their parents did, so on and so forth. I'm sure somewhere up the chain it was much more, if you want to say genuine, or lack of a better word for it. But so it was just, for me, I think the main problem before I started doing any of this or looking into YouTube or whatever I did to find whatever this was that everything felt repetitive. I get up in the morning, do the same steps, and maybe I put tefillin on. I was very mocked to do that for some reason. I don't know why. Some sort of school HaShem gave me that. Tefillin was one thing I don't think I ever missed. If I did, it was maybe once in my entire life. So it was just, but it was very robotic. Because getting up, you said, you put on the tefillin, you said whatever was in the art school sitter, we're done. Maybe here and there I need to pray a very genuine prayer. It comes from the heart, which now I look back and I realize that's what HaShem wants. It's not, he doesn't just want you to read what's in the art scroll, sitter, or whatever else you have. You have to, it's called, in halacha, it's called avodat halev. You have to, it's the work of the heart. So whatever comes from the heart, that's what HaShem wants. He doesn't want, even says in the Navi, he says, I don't want your offerings. I want you to cry out to me with like a broken heart. David Melch says until that's lev nishvav v'nekel l'kim lo tivzeh. Until him 51, he says a broken heart is never turned away, no matter what. Even somebody's a complete rasha, Hashem's going to take him back if he cries to him with a really broken heart. And that's what Hashem really wants. The genuine connection with you. He wants you to really look at him as your father in heaven and your king and things like that. So I just think growing up, I got to high school, made friends, very, very normal lifestyle. But then I see it was the problem is in modern orthodoxy is that it feels like a little bit forced. At least I can speak for myself. I don't know if I can speak for others, but you just follow the same routes. You go to the tefillot, you go to class. Sometimes if you have a good rebbe or a good teacher, it's interesting. And then you could get into it, but most of the time you're just sitting in the class from here to here. We're going to study for the test. We're going to get a good grade, and we're going to move on to college eventually. We're just trying to fill a report card here. And now that I value the Torah study a lot more, and I try to do as much as I can. And of course, I try to do the best I can. I always had a few things when I was growing up that really touched me. Some subjects, for some reason, the Beit HaMikdash, everything about it, I was in love with it ever since I was young. So I remember maybe going to shul. If you ever open up the art school stone edition, the Humash, you see those awesome diagrams where you see what the Aron looked like, what the menorah looked like. Now I see the new ones now. They really updated. It looks incredible now with the color and everything. But when I was a kid, I just remember going to shul, always opening up, looking at the different korbanot stuff and all that kind of stuff. It was always very intriguing me. I don't know why.
Are you a Kohen?
I'm not a Kohen. I'm a firstborn, but it doesn't mean anything right now. But also everything about Kahuna, it really always drew me in, and always something very special to me is Birkat Kohanim. Especially since we're Ashkenazi, we don't we do it only a handful of times throughout the year, not like Sfardis where they do it every single day and Shabbat twice, holidays twice. It's so whenever we always went under my dad's house in shul, it was always a very, very meaningful thing, and just very typical lifestyle. And continuing growing up with the education, the only problem is it was, although we went to a school that was very modern, so there's a lot of, for the nicer way to say it, bad influences, not the best people inside the school. And also the kids were teenagers. They were doing things that were not 100% kosher, but when you don't have the right hadrach, you don't have the right guidance in life, especially trying to live this half life, where we're going to be Orthodox, we're going to do some things modern. I think it's a recipe for disaster, personally, because I saw too many friends went off the derech, not just not keeping Shabbat, God forbid, also going with not Jewish girlfriends and other things like that, but also going into drugs, and even worse, some even sell Shamir. It's but I had some sort of a special siyata d'shmaya since I was so whenever I was in high school and stuff like that, that HaShem always kept me somewhat on the straight path, like never to get into that stuff, even though I was completely surrounded with it. For 4 years straight, I want to say 4 years, I would say about maybe 2 to 3 years, I was surrounded with all that kind of stuff. And he kept me straight. I never tried any of that stuff, never got into smoking anything, HaShem, never got into drinking. But I kept a very straight, good kid life type of thing. I don't really know how to explain it otherwise.
Okay, so your parents were also, you said your parents traditional, right?
The truth is, it's a really complicated way to tag a term to it, because, in the religious world, we're all basing ourselves, whether Haredi, Yeshivish, Litvish, Ashkenazi, is a million different terms for. Some people say they're Modern Orthodox and Machmir, which I found out recently, which I don't even know what that means. But it's a game full of terms, so I don't think there's really a proper term to really tag to anything, because we were keeping Shabbat to the best of our abilities. But then again, since you don't really know halacha, you only realize if you put your time into studying what you're really doing. If you're somebody taking a shower on Shabbos, like if it's a cold shower, maybe there's some room for leniency, maybe Sephardim, I don't know, but we don't do that per se, Ashkenazi. But if somebody's taking a hot shower, like, listen, this, you got to study halacha. You got to realize, I think it was, it's Chaim and Volozhin that said, if you don't study Shabbat rules every week, you're guaranteed you're going to be breaking it on Shabbos. In fact, quoted that correctly, but you don't even need it's a common thing to say. There's thousands and thousands of halacha when it comes to Shabbos, which is the ikar of being Jewish. So if you don't study the one thing that makes you Jewish, how could you say you're practicing religious person if you don't know what you're doing?
Okay, so traditional, you were kind of raised in a way where your parents tell you whatever it is that they knew. When you said you were learning a certain hashkafa, what exactly was that you were learning?
The hashkafa, I see it, that I personally saw was like, we call it in the Torah, kochi b'otzim yedi, asad ha'chayil hazeh, if you know what I'm talking about. It's sort of, we're going to put a lot of hishtadlus, like a lot of effort to our thing. And we know Hashem's going to do the rest, but then again, it's not really the way somebody who's bitachon or somebody who's religious works, if you know what I mean, because it's more, we're going to go out, we're going to put in a lot of effort, and that's really what I need to fix. I need to fall back into Hashem more, realizing He's the one controlling everything, even though I need to work on it very much. Obviously, the work never ends until you leave this place, but I think it's a tough question to answer.
I understand. So how did that change? What changed? When did it change?
It's very simple. You went to, I'm just going to continue telling like where eventually when I got to meeting the rabbis and stuff like that. But, so I'll just say after I left high school, we got stuck in Corona. That was it 2020 then, I think. So the Magefa was starting, and we were, everyone got stuck in their houses. So we finished it up high school, which is online classes, Zoom classes. Many people were doing this, so it was a very, very common thing. And then graduated, and then I was staying in the house. Like everybody else we were all staying in the house. And eventually my mom came over to me and said, listen, you got to do something with yourself. You're sitting here doing nothing. I said, listen, I know that, but what am I going to do here? If you want to go to college, it's on Zoom. If you want to do anything, it's on Zoom. She said, go to Israel. I said, I wasn't personally for it because I wanted to just go to college, just go get a job and continue with my life, whatever that was. But she pushed me and she gave me a reality check saying, listen, you're not doing anything with yourself. So I have something to owe to her for pushing me towards that direction to get me going, because I was kind of stale. I was kind of just staying in the same place. So then eventually found some sort of a program, went to Israel. It was like a program in Tel Aviv where half the day it was supposed to be half the day learning, half the day working an internship in high tech, because I was always like into coding, into computers, all that kind of growing up. But it turned out it was much more internship based. And also I say it's nearly impossible to be in Tel Aviv and be very, very frum and mockery and all this kind of stuff, because just open your eyes and look around, but don't open your eyes and don't look around. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not a good place to be from. It used to be very holy neighbors that were there until it was taken over by people who more or less don't have much respect for HaShem at all, Jewish people or anybody who's not according to their ideologies. So I went to there, spent the year there. Of course, we were davening daily 3 times. Then again, it was also very much of like a more Zionistic type of thing. And I got to a point where I was almost about to actually join the army. I was getting really, really convinced to go join the Israeli army because they have a very good unit there where they train you for intelligence. It's called Shmona Matayim 8200 in Hebrew. And you learn about how to code. And once you get out of there, all the startups in Israel want to hire you for massive salaries. So that was what I was thinking to do. My parents thought it was a great idea. So the people there, they were helping me and trying to guide me towards to do that. And right before that, I say HaShem sent sort of a miracle, although it wasn't the nicest thing. It was a miracle to get me out of there. I did it as part to help me. If you remember at the end of 2021, I believe it was, I don't remember 100%, but there was that whole war with Hamas and the Israelis where there was 5,000 missiles flying back and forth. So after that, we were stuck in bomb shelters for a few days. So I got the really full experience while I was there.
Wow.
And then at the end, my mom was very worried, and she airlifted me back to Express on LL, back to New York. The fastest way you could get me out of there, she got me on that plane. She got me out of it because she was worried sick, which of course I appreciate very much. She didn't do that. Who knows where I'd be right now? So to say, this whole time, although it's a little bit tough with my parents, and they're trying to understand me, and they're trying to do much to understand and do these things like that. I want to say thank you to them. They really appreciate it, although they're not 100% with it yet. They're trying to understand. They're trying to be supportive. They're trying to help me in whatever ways they can. So I hope it's some sort of school for them to help them out also. So I got back. Similar time I got back, a very interesting video popped up on my feed on YouTube, Rab Mrai, some sort of Rab Mrai video. I started listening to it, and I loved it. I don't know why. It touched me, the Musar, whatever it was, that maybe a speaking style. And then from there, I was just doing my own thing. I was running a big selling business, at that time, what was it? I think it was 2021, towards the summertime in June. And at the time, I was always doing sneakers, selling sneakers and high-end clothing brands, Supreme, all those streetwear brands and all the kinds of shit I'm talking about, and making a decent amount of money. And also on top of that, I started selling different things like PlayStations. Because at the time, during the Corona, a lot of these items became shut down because of factories in China and all these places that were shut down. So production went down like crazy, and it was a very good opportunity to start trying to buy. So we were using like programs on our computers, if you know bots and stuff like that. We were using bots to get a lot of things, and we were getting sick amounts of things. So sometimes I had a service where I was running for clients where I would get them items off of the limited releases, and I would charge them a fee. So one time I think I got like 150 pairs of shoes in one morning, like within a few minutes, or like big numbers like that, and making thousands of dollars in the morning. Baruch HaShem took some of that back. It's my mini story of unconscious of what the rabbi did. So it took back my thousands, maybe. I don't know. But so I got back, and then from there until now, it was just a slow process of about 2 years. Oh no, let me correct myself. It was in 2020 when I got back, I believe. It was a slow process of 2 to 3 years, watching the shiurim, getting stronger, getting a lot of chizuk from them, slowly changing. It's like if you look at me now wearing a white shirt and like you don't see me wearing black pants, it's because I'm in yeshiva. And that was after a very long time I started working on the outside. I was just really staying somewhat normal, whatever back then normal was, dressing the same, acting very similar, but just really building a solid foundation for myself with Musar and whatever the teachings. At the time was only Rab Mizrachi, which is, of course, he's incredible. I love Rab Mizrachi. Who doesn't? I was taking from his teachings. Then eventually I landed myself a job through my uncle in Manhattan in a marketing firm. And this was 18 at the time, 18 or 19 at the time. I was trying to sell the promotional packages to companies, like making a shidduch, a connection between investors and people who needed to get the company invested in. And in the past, I did really well. I sold like $140,000 worth of stuff for them. I assisted in selling that. And this time I joined the job again because they said, listen, we'll give you a job. Uncle's high up in the company. So he said, I'll help you out. You probably need some money on the side. Okay, fine. I'll give it a try. So that means at the time, so getting up, going to shul extremely early. I think, was it Vatican or Nates? I don't know what was the earliest prayer. Putting in tefillin, getting out of there, going on the bus and then making it to the city at like 8 o'clock in the morning, pretty much. That was daily for 4 months. And then some period, I don't remember when it was, but when I was in that job, I stumbled upon Rabbi Reuven's videos. I can't tell you exactly which video it was because I can't check back my YouTube history that far and I don't remember either way. But then again, since I saw that him and Rabbi Mizrachi were affiliated, I said, listen, this one's kosher and that one must be kosher because if he wouldn't put him on his page, it wasn't kosher. So I think now that I look back, it might have been the video where he introduces him and they talk about his personal story. Or it might have been one of the movies. It might have been HaShem Took Back on Millions or something like that. But then I started to enjoy learning from his teachings as well. And of course, all the time, before I saw his teachings, I was sending Rabbi Mizrachi tons of emails to get like questions, stuff like that, because I wanted to learn more, get more guidance.
Do you see Rabbi Mizrachi in his lectures over there? Are you?
Yeah. So basically, we went over to his house for on Shabbat to go eat a meal with him.
Oh.
I talked to him over WhatsApp and stuff like that. He's a big friend of the yeshiva, so we had him over for Shal Shudas, and it was incredible. The guys loved it. The guys got so much physical from him talking between the meals, and he HaShem just asking questions all the time, and he always answering, similar to Rabbi Reuven, answering at ridiculous times in the morning, which you never thought a person should be up or should be functioning at the time. He sends you back a response.
What yeshiva are you at?
It's called Torah's David, Muncie right now. And it's Rabbi Mizrachi is a good friend of the Rosh Yeshiva, so it's really yeshiva was made for like Bali Tshuva and Gerim also converts. So it teaches people that are at the lowest level, obviously they're trying to learn Aleph Bet and stuff like that, all the way up to people getting smicha, getting full rabbinical ordination. Which is it's a very nice it's a monoscale of people.
Is that near Or Sameach? It's called?
No, this is actually Or Sameach shut down. And then the rabbi who's Rosh Yeshiva now, he said, listen, what are these guys going to do? They need a yeshiva system to begin. And what are we going to do with them since the shutdown? So he took the whole load on his shoulders. He transformed this place into Torah David. Like he opened up a new place. He found a place for the guys to stay. And he got Rabbanim and he continued doing shiurim. And then my limited knowledge of what happened after that. And it's been a few years since Or Sameach shut down. And then after that, he just opened this place and started to progress. And then he finally got like a physical location for them. I want to ask about you. You're a Ger Tzedek, right? So again, I'm the same.
I am born Jew.
Oh, you are born Jew? I didn't even know. I thought you were convert. Oh, so I guess you also then over time became Baal Tshuva.
Yeah.
The episode's about me right now, but
you started listening to Rabbi Reuven from Rabbi Mizrachi's lecture.
Yeah, that was when I was at my job in Manhattan. I guess I'll go back from there.
So at this time, when you're at your job, you're waking up in the morning, you're doing whatever you can before you need to go to work, and you're kind of like in this middle state, from my understanding, right? You're kind of strengthening.
This was about a few months after I got introduced to our Mizrachi's videos, so starting to like get up to like a much higher level than I was from, which meant I started going to Minyan 3 times a day. And if I couldn't make it to Shafet, I was still davening by myself with tefillin in the house, of course, since I just had such little time to get the tefillin on, daven whatever I can, get off, and then run to the bus stop, catch the express bus to get to Manhattan. But I was holding at a very good level. And then in Manhattan, I would walk over from Mincha to a Chabad, which is very close. There was a lot of Balabautim, like workers, religious, go there to pray, Mincha. And then from there, I would take a bus back home and daven Ma'ariv in my shul again. So I had like a good daily routine. But then the job was just after a while, I couldn't do it anymore because it was draining. It was just marketing jobs. I really didn't enjoy it whatsoever. And also when the sales don't come in, it's very unmotivating. So HaShem had his reasons. I got pushed out of there. And also whenever I got introduced to Rab Reuven, whether it was through a video or something else, of course I started sending him questions, and he said immediately, offer one of his kiruv packages. So would I be Jewish? I wouldn't take something free from another Jew. I mean, he sent me a nice big package full of great books, like Rav Zamir Cohen's book and other things. I've seen some of these in the past, but it was just, it's so nice because I didn't know the rabbi. I don't know, he just said, let me send you a package full of a few $100 worth of stuff. And like, yeah, who am I to know? So it sends me the package, and it's really good stuff. It was, I think it was the Tikkun Abri type of stuff, like the box full of CDs, a few of his cards, and just a bunch of books, free chumash. And I just thought it's very, very genuine, a very, very nice offer, which I appreciate very much.
Okay, so how did you get that package? How did you get in touch with him? Did you get personal help from him? What's that?
So after I discovered his videos, I started watching, and I reached out to him on WhatsApp. I said, listen, Rabbi, I told him, since one of those massive 2-page things, And surprisingly, back then, I think he was still looking at them. Like maybe nowadays, it's Baruch Hashem, there's too many people to keep up with. So Baruch Hashem also, it's a great thing. But then again, there's only one Rabbi Reuven and also Rabbi Mizrachi and some other great people around the world that help this. But there's not enough people to read the 10-page essays anymore, I don't think. So back then, he read through my essay on WhatsApp. He sent me back one of those like quick tests, like who do you believe hit Moses or somebody or one of the Goyish deities or whatever. We went through the test and then he started answering my question. He sent me back the first time, I think it was like a 5-minute voice note, which is just from seeing his views on YouTube, which made absolutely no sense how he had time to do such a thing. This theme kept repeating itself, how he's sending back these massive voice notes and long messages. Like I have absolutely no explanation how he has time in the day to do any of this, and multiply this probably by 30,000 other people and running his entire charity organization company. It makes no sense. So yeah, I'm just gonna think a little bit about what he didn't do. First of all, what he didn't do, there's no Reuven. You send him any question, usually gets back to you within the same day or within a day. Like I said before, at a crazy hour today, and he really sends a nice personalized message. So whenever I had an issue, questions, even simple questions that I probably should have been able to look up on Google or like one of these yeshivish websites that had asked answers to like halacha questions, I sent it to him, no problem, no complaints, no nothing. Sends me back a response on WhatsApp, detailed halachas, and I'm Ashkenazi, so he's a Sephardi Reb, and he even knows how to give me the Ashkenazi answers to the questions, which is also incredible to see. And besides from just getting tons of chizuk from seeing his story and the Mussar shiurim and Pirkei Avot and all these great things that he's done and all the personal help, just constant help with any question I sent him, personal questions about guidance in life. Because at the time I was only 18. I'm looking at myself now, I'm 20, but Baruch Hashem, I had to split to get onto this really early. I see many people, they get onto this, and that's also incredible. But there's obviously a difference between when you join it when you're very young, and you join it when you're a little bit older. It's an analogy you can pick to it. It's like writing ink on fresh paper and ink on. It's like obviously the fresh paper absorbs it a lot more. I see it personally in my life. I see tons of siyata d'shmaya for everything. Praying for something, and Baruch Hashem, I get it. After enough prayers, or asking Rabbi Reuven, or asking the past to pray for things, and guys, I tell you, he has real siyata d'shmaya from all the holy work he does, and just constant help, never turning anybody down, never turn me down.
Baruch Hashem. What would you say, if anything, was like the hardest challenge or obstacle that you had to overcome during this whole process?
So actually, I thought about this because I was expecting this type of question. Then again, also, I always thought if I meet somebody, what am I going to tell them? Questions, advice, all this kind of, if I could give any advice. And so I think definitely one of the hardest thing was living at home. And when you take on all these new things, halacha, which your parents, they look at stringencies and they think you're crazy or some sort of a cult, which I'm sure many Bali Tshuva get and many Gerim get. Because it is. The truth is, it's a massive life switch. You're going from doing, some people doing nothing, keep the Shabbat, some people putting on tefillin every day. Some things, if you do it and you're looking from an outsider's perspective, it looks crazy. It looks absolutely crazy. So the hardest part for me definitely was trying to keep it all normal at home. Because I could tell it definitely was hard for my parents to accept it. Baruch Hashem, they're trying to. Appreciate them, like I said before, for doing that. But yeah, it wasn't easy. Definitely wasn't easy.
How do they understand it now?
I think it's just so over time that now that I'm in yeshiva, they see that it's a lot more stable. I think what they're really concerned about for me was that I'm going to establish a life for myself, keep obviously the Jewish traditions, marry inside the religion, and be Shomer Shabbos. But they're more concerned, I think, from seeing that they would get a good job, get married. They're saying constantly, how are you going to pay, get some sort of college degree, even though I'm not the biggest fan of college degrees. And for what I want to do, I don't think it's as applicable. But that was what their big concern was, that get a good degree, get a good income for yourself and your family. I think that's what I brought up earlier, where it's very much about the modern look at life. We have to realize it. All the money, where does the money come from? Tell me, where's it coming from? Obviously, you can't say I'm going to do such and such, get a degree, go to college, and then money's just going to start coming to my bank account. No, it doesn't work like that. I could have, like I was saying before at home, I was making decent money, selling PlayStation, selling graphics cards, selling whatever I was selling, shoes, and it obviously, I didn't need a college degree to do any of that. I didn't need anything straight. Hashem sends whatever he sends, and Hashem appreciated for everything he sends. So I think definitely the biggest problem was we're going to do everything myself. You got to take a step back. We do our shadless, however much, everyone according to their ability, how much they trust in Hashem, and on top of that, Hashem sends the blessings.
Yeah, I generally I don't really like to ask about people's like parents and stuff like that, but you'd be very surprised where a lot of people have a lot of different experiences when they do tshuva. A lot of people, sometimes their parents support them, sometimes they totally abandon them. And like I've told other people on these podcasts, is that everyone that we bring on, they all have a different story. Some of them came from nothing. Some of them came from, halfway in. Some of them were already super religious and fell off and then they came back. But everyone is going to have someone that they can relate to, and they're going to be influenced and supported and helped. Their questions will be answered from hearing other people's stories. So sometimes the questions can be a little, but the fun is we're not here for that. We're not here we're here to help. And so it's an important. Anyways, thank you for checking. Yeah.
Before I even continue, I just want to definitely make the point straight. I don't know if my parents are going to see this, because mostly I don't think I'm going to send it to them, or if they ever somehow stumble across this, I just want them to know I love them very much. I appreciate that they're trying. Although obviously it wasn't easy with all this, I saw that they really did try. Like, they saw that somebody has like a svarim for trying to give away, or that someone's selling a sefer. They said, oh, this will be good for him. He got me a sefer, obviously. Doing whatever they can to try to relate to it. So I really appreciate it. Although it's not easy, they're trying very much. And I love them very much for it.
Exactly. Honoring your parents on a podcast.
Reuven said, that's what my rabbis in yeshiva said. The best thing is if somebody makes a tshuva and then they come around and they go back to their family, and the family has to see all the good. Obviously, I'm not going to say I was the best at portraying that when I was first doing it, because you come off a tshuva, you're on fire, whatever, you're going to probably burn everyone around you also. So I can't say I was the best at doing that, but hopefully I'll become more agua, more relaxed, more like everything becomes more like set in place. You could handle both things at the same time and bring it into the public and make a big kiddush HaShem. You will see that there's a Rashi in the Torah. I forgot where it was, but he says like, praiseworthy are the parents, or praiseworthy is the one that taught this person Torah. If you see a person who learned Torah, then he became like a real, like the same Yiddish, became a mensch, became a good person. And they say praiseworthy is the one that taught this one Torah. Praiseworthy is the Torah that this person learned from it. And then exactly the opposite. If the person comes out, they have horrible midot, they didn't work on themselves. That's why it's a big split to learn from Mizrachi and Reuven. Like, it's all the shiurim is all about Moshe and midot and correcting the midot. So when you go out into the public and they see this person's not arrogant, this person is selfless, this person wants to do chesed with everyone, it makes a really big kiddush Hashem on the public. And then you could relate it back and say, I learned it from so and so, and they'll just catch more people onto it. So it's a very good thing.
Jeremy, what are some of the goals that you have now? You're 20 years old. You're going strong. What do you see? Where do you see your future? Where do you see yourself in 10 years from now?
In HaShem, that's a great question with never a great answer. Because, the common thing, man plans and God laughs. It's so true. If I look back at when I started listening to the shiurim, I would have never expected to be in yeshiva at this point. Doing all the things I'm doing, I would have been the last guest for myself. If I look back, I would have seen myself maybe being religious, Shomer Shabbos, very makbid on everything, and then listening to the shiurim. Never. I would have never looked at myself in yeshiva. So obviously, this could happen within 2 years. I can't even tell you what's going to happen within 10 years. If I have a schut to continue like this, I can tell you for things I want to learn. I can tell you, definitely I want to get a career, hopefully work with Bezrat HaShem to do some things if I get a schut to do so. Since I joined back, say it again. I want to join back into what I was doing previously. I was doing coding for a while, trying to build myself up, teach myself the skills, like software development, because I always had like a knack for it. But I took a break for a few months because I wanted to go into yeshiva, and I wanted to let me say it again. I got a call. So I definitely want to get back into trying to go for a job and try to balance both of them at the same time, being yeshiva, some money, and continue going like that. And also, I have an interesting thing I like to do. Like I'm trying to gather all these different Jewish skills that all of me, Rabbi Gigi, sure also, your grandparents probably knew all these skills. Like everyone knew how to do shlita, everyone knew how to write their own tefillin, stuff like that. So a personal thing is I taught myself how to do safrut, like writing sofer.
Oh wow.
So I'm in the process of getting my Stam certification right now. Like, I already finished my first Megillah. I'm going to start working on a shiurim for myself so I can have for Shabbat. And from there on, whenever I finish that, I'm going to maybe go towards Shlita. And because it's skills we have to know. And it's if you want to be a Jew, God forbid, if you're ever in a situation where you need it, you'll need it, you'll have it. Maybe I know shofar, I know a lot of different things. So So definitely within those 10 years, if HaShem gives me a split, I'll definitely want to learn more of these things. And then on top of that, also just continue with the rabbi, listening to the shiurim, hopefully go back to Florida to see our Reuven in person again. I had a chance to see him a few times. I was really looking forward to it. I thought he was coming to New York to see me, to see the guys. I was going to go see him. And obviously it didn't work out for one reason or another. I don't know why, but hopefully he comes to New York sometime, or he'll do a physical event, and maybe I'll be able to come down to Florida again to see him. And also continue seeing Rabbi Mizrachi all the time. I'm probably going to see him like this week also, hopefully before Pesach.
And do you go to Rabbi Mizrachi's lectures live?
I don't have time to. I would love to. And also I don't have a car right now. So Muncie to Brooklyn right now, or Muncie to Brooklyn is a lot closer than Muncie to Queens. Maybe one time I'll try to come around, but I just personally don't have enough time in the day. So I listen to them. I try to keep up listening to a few lectures a week while I'm in yeshiva from both Reuven, both Mizrachi. Like obviously at nighttime, when I have some free time, I always love to go back and listen to the lectures. It really gives, even me in yeshiva right now, I need chizuk as well. And their shiurim, it just does something to the neshama. It's not even a joke. It touches you different than everything else does. I totally forgot. I was talking about like where I was going with everything. I didn't even finish off where I'm at now. We kind of just bounced around. And
yeah, go for it. What?
Yeah, I'm going back to Reuven sent me the box, sent me the package. We kept talking, of course, on WhatsApp, constant questions, answers, all this kind of stuff, and never holding back. Like I don't know how he does it. He just leaves his number in the YouTube for anybody to come and ask questions. And I always hear him say, he gets like 500 messages a day, 1,000 messages a day. It doesn't make any sense how somebody could keep up with this. But so it's a very good thing I got in touch with him 2 years ago to build some sort of a relationship with him, so he'll know like this. I'm legit. I'm not like just looking to. Because I'm sure there's also people who contact him and it's maybe they're not 100% serious or whatever the deal is with them. So yeah. So after that, I left the office after about 4 months being there. Because I hated it. I couldn't keep up with the schedule anymore. It was too much. It just like get home every night after my absolutely crashed from being up at 5 o'clock in the morning or even earlier sometimes. So I also combined with it wasn't really making sales, and Manhattan is not the cleanest place for a Jew to be. It's absolutely one of the worst places for a Jew to be. If you're young, you're trying to watch your eyes, or anybody just trying to watch their eyes. It's so horrible. So I left there, came back home, and I was just staying home, learning Torah, doing my own thing for a few weeks. And then my parents said, listen, do something with yourself. The classic, get a job, stop laying around doing nothing. I can't say I wasn't doing nothing, but I wasn't exactly the best productive person. So I actually went, there was a local store. It was very close, kosher supermarket in Staten Island. And they put an ad on WhatsApp saying they're looking for somebody new to run their deli department. What can I list? Whatever. I walk in there. It's if you know the words, very Heimish. Heimish is very like warm, cozy environment. It's like more Hasidish type of run. Like whatever, we'll let it flow, whatever. So I walk in, I go to the boss. I said, "Where's the boss?" I said, "Whatever, just go into the back." So I walk in the back, and I said, "Here, I'm here to apply for the job." He said, "Oh, sit down. Where you from? You're religious? Okay, you're hired. Start tomorrow." Very good. So I show up tomorrow. It's so crazy, but it's so funny. I show up the next day, and yeah, I just started working. And from there, it was just straight for almost a year. It was crazy to think that it was really that long. I was just working there for a really long time, and of course the whole time I was able to. The boss didn't mind me listening to the shiurim while I was like working, and a lot of the time it was me just sitting on on a box doing nothing most of the time. So I was just waiting for customers to come by. So I had a long time to listen to shiurim all day long, different rabbis, and even during that time I even taught myself Hebrew, like a lot more Hebrew than I could have. Even living in Israel and Tel Aviv, you'd think you'd pick it up for being there a year. It's the exact opposite. All Israelis want to speak English because it's the coolest thing for them. So not much being there. The only people that spoke to me Hebrew there were the Arabs, the Palestinians,
really?
in Tel Aviv, which is hilarious. But so I came back. My Hebrew level when I was in Israel was like enough to order from a restaurant, and that was it. And then coming back to America, just listening. The way I did it was I listened to a Rab Mrai lecture he gave in English. And you see his lectures are usually very similar. So if you listen to the same one in Hebrew, in my mind I was putting together certain words that I heard him say. So eventually I realized this word means that word means this. And I built some sort of like a dictionary in my head. Baruch Hashem, it's extremely helpful now. To learn from Svarim to davening, it helps plenty. When you know what you're saying, it makes the world of a difference.
Absolutely.
And also shiurim of Rab Mrai, if you know him from Israel, he's not even genius. Genius is not even a word. It's not even a word to describe his shiurim. It's like 100 sources by heart, and that shiurim makes no sense. Whatever, it's obviously HaShem gives siyata d'shmaya to people who fear him. So I guess towards the end of that year, I kept in touch with Reuven. It was definitely not as much because I didn't have his number on WhatsApp, so I kept emailing him, But now that I found Reuven, I was really sending most of my questions to him. And Mizrachi at the time, I was sending a few questions saying, Shana Tova, have a great holiday, whatever it was. And we just kept going like that for a while. And towards the end of my job, I was really getting to the point where I was like, it's great to sit around here, do nothing and make some money and listen to shiurim all day, but I'm bored. I'm sitting on a box all day for 8 hours a day, sometimes even longer than 8 hours a day for 6 days a week. I was working on Sundays as well. So it was good, but it was extremely boring. So I was complaining for a little bit, and eventually HaShem gave me some sort of exit ticket, which it wasn't great, but I got injured on the job. It was not fun at all. And instead of complaining, I should have just left myself. So I guess maybe HaShem sent me a little reminder: don't complain. You have it good. After that, I left. I went to the urgent care, whatever. Got stitches for my injury, and after that, I just said, "Listen, this thing's not for me anymore." I think this was HaShem sending me a sign. Obviously, we don't look for signs, but I said, "Yeah, I'm done with this." So I left. After that, I was just for a few months, I was just home. And I said to my parents, I was going to learn how to code. I was going to get a job in coding, make good money, because I saw that people were on time. And even now, you don't need college degrees anymore. You just have to have good skill, be able to pass an interview. So while you're familiar with it, you know, like any of this stuff.
I'm familiar with people wasting their time in college and not even doing anything with it. I know a little bit of coding, but probably nothing what you know.
I was building good projects on the side. I was doing I felt like it was very good work. I was only doing front-end developments, not back-end, which hopefully now that I'm going to, after Ben is Isman and yeshiva, like the break time, I'm going to come back and start doing that in my side time. And I was building websites and stuff like that. A little bit involved with the rabbi to try to help whatever I can. That's obviously just a little bit. It wasn't really much to help Reuven. And I was trying to build some sort of like a portfolio for myself to try to get a job. And I really wasn't taking it seriously. I was wasting away a lot of my time. The rest of the time I was just learning Torah as much as I can. So that's what I was really enjoying doing. Listening to shiurim and just learning whatever weekly parsha, a little bit of Gemara, halacha, everything like that. Yeah, that's what I was doing. And then eventually I'll tell you how I got to yeshiva, the much better part. And then I guess that'll lead us to where we're here now. So I was, there's a shul in my neighborhood. I live in Staten Island. So around where I live, there's a shul called, everyone calls it Rab Mrai shul. It's called Grossfaden. It's a Hasidic shul. And it's like a minion factory. People come in, people go out. They have minyanim until like crazy hours of the night. They have a lot of that here in Muncie as well. I was really starting on my own. I didn't have a chavruta. I didn't know many people around my area. So I was just kind of by myself, listening to the shiurim and doing my own thing. And especially that I was out of work, I didn't really, most of the day I had no schedule. I had no type of thing going on. So I was going to there for minyanim, shachar, mincha, ma'ariv, the whole thing. And eventually I came across somebody who was, he recognized me. I did recognize him. He said, "How are you?" Like, "Jeremy, how are you?" I'm like, "Good, how are you?" I just being nice. I didn't know who he was. You say, "My chavruta just left me. He moved away. He got a new job. Do you want to learn with me every night?" And I said, "I'll have to think about it." Thinking like, what am I thinking about it? I'm not doing anything in my life anyway. He says, "Okay, we have a Gemara thing every night for like 45 minutes, like Gemara Chabura, up inside of our public shul, the shul I told you about. And it's, join us. It's nice." So, okay, fine, I'll try it. So I go, and then we are learning together it was a few months. And then, yeah, it was really nice. It helped me, gave me a bunch of skills in Gemara that I would have never thought I would have gotten from them. It was just learning Rashi and Gemara, but it was a very big help, especially now that I'm in yeshiva, what's going on here. It really gave me a boost to try to know it. And then we were learning together. And then one day I was with this person, my friend that was learning with me. And I had one of my books with me. Maybe it was like a Rashi or something, Rashi art school, Uncle's art school. I don't know what it was. And I had one of the Tikkun Abrit things, like the bookmarks sticking out of my book. So I put it down, we daven Ma'ariv, and I walk out. And there's some guy standing in the back of the Beis Knesset. And my friend starts talking to him. And this guy he's talking to, he looks, he sees this bookmark. And he says, "That's my rabbi." I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "That's my rabbi. He made me religious and say about tshuva." He said, "Let's talk outside." So we started talking. And you interviewed him. That's Moshe. I'm sure you interviewed him already. Yeah, incredible person.
Tell the story.
He told the story. So if you can hear it from my side, it's all then.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, we met, and then immediately said, let's learn something. So the next night we sat down. We learned some Yosef. Obviously, I'm Ashkenazi. We're open to learning any books, any halacha, even if it's Sephardi. So we learned that, and then we went back, and there's another Beis Knesset in Staten Island called Tov. It's a Sephardi shul. So we went there, learned. And we get a shiur from the rabbi also 2 nights a week. And it was going great for a little bit of time. And I'll tell you, the first thing he told me, he said, "You should go to yeshiva." I said, "What do you mean yeshiva? I'm not interested in that." And he said, "You go to yeshiva, it'll be good for you." I said, "What yeshiva is going to take me? I don't have much money. I don't know much. What am I going to do?" And he says, "Go to the place I went to, Torah's in Muncie." Okay, fine. So we spoke. We learned a bunch together. It was really great. But he said, this guy told me, Moshe told me, and the other guy that learned told me, he said, listen, it's time, go. Just go to a yeshiva. I said, you know what, fine, I'm going to look into it more. And then eventually we got to a point where like in my house, it wasn't, I felt like I wanted to grow spiritually more. So one time I really, I'm going to tell you, I prayed to HaShem. I was praying with tears. I said, HaShem, please help me. I want to get close to you, whatever. And I sent a message to our Mizrachi. I said, listen, Rabbi, I also texted Reuven. I said, I want to go to that yeshiva you're always talking about. And I don't even know what's still around. Reuven only knew about the Or Sameach. So I don't think that many people know about the Torah Stove place now. It's called, I know that it switched the name. So Or Sameach shut down 4 or 5 years ago. So he said, I don't know. So I said, okay, fine, I'll ask our Mizrachi. I asked our Mizrachi, and he sends me back a message. And he says, listen, if you want, I can get you in there. I said, really? He said, yeah. I said, I don't have money. He said, I don't have that much money. He said, money, whatever, they'll take you in. So do what you can, give them whatever you can. I said, okay, but I said, I'll go there. And he put me in touch with the Rosh Yeshiva, Rav Simon. And I'll tell you how it all connects. It's a whole lot of Siyata Shmai. Rav Yosef Simon, who's Rosh Yeshiva, is friendly with the person I was learning Gemara with. So I was able to use him as a reference, and Rabbi Mizrachi also as a reference to get into the yeshiva. Also, Moshe went to this yeshiva before before he got married or something like that. So everything eventually started connecting, and I said, you know, Hashem's probably pushing me towards this place. I better go. So I went, tried it out for a week, and obviously the first week in yeshiva was hard. You don't know anybody. It's hard to learn. I said, I'm going to give it a chance. So I tried it. And Baruch Hashem, I've been here for about 2-3 months now, and it's great. It's such a bracha to be here. It's really, really nice. And I'm sitting and trying to learn Gemara, really put my head into it. And obviously, it's hard to learn Tosfot and Rishonim and all this kind of stuff, but I'm Baruch Hashem trying.
You're actually doing this from the yeshiva right now, right?
Yeah. The yeshiva now. I'm going to be going home on Monday or Sunday. Today's Monday. I'm going to be going home for Pesach on Wednesday. I'll be back after Ben Azman and Bezot Hashem start up again.
Wow. Your story has been very interesting so far. Very captivating. Definitely going to help people, without a doubt. What kind of advice would you give to people that are similar in your situation? People that are doing tshuva, they're in the process, they have hardships, they have all these obstacles. What would you advise them?
So definitely a few pieces of advice. One is to work on the inside. Now that I said before, you see me wearing a white shirt, and maybe you don't see my pants, but I'm wearing black pants. In yeshiva now, I dress like a yeshiva bachar. Don't do this. If you're starting off in shul, I'm already 2 years into it, almost 3 years into it. You need to really work on the inside, build a foundation for yourself, because you see a lot of people who become Bali Tshuva, they become converts, and they destroy themselves. They try to dress and act to a certain part. It's not a good idea. Work on the inside, build yourself a foundation, and then once you get to a level, ask your rabbi, or if you see that you're really holding at a point, then maybe you should take it on yourself. But to start with, don't do the whole dress, but obviously it's a different thing. But the whole white shirt, black pants, this whole thing, you don't have to do it. There's no requirement to dress like this in the Torah. I choose to do it because I feel like personally it makes me feel more part of the yeshivish, Hasidish type of group, which is more Ashkenazi. And also being yeshiva, this is how yeshivish guys dress. So personally, I chose to dress like this. But if you're a convert, if you're a Bali Tshuva, be normal, obviously some sort of modest level. Dress just casual. It's there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing against Torah. Be a normal person. And another thing is that when you do tshuva, you're most likely going to be on fire, like I said before. So keep it subdued. Don't go crazy. You're going to come home. Your family might not understand it. They're probably not going to understand it. That's the truth. So don't flip out on them. That's not how you get people to get closer to HaShem. The way you get people to get closer to HaShem is at least you can see, they see your actions around. They live the way you act. And it says in Pirkei Avot, the way the students of Aaron, love peace, pursue peace, and bring people closer to the Torah, but never bring the Torah down. Many people that bring the Torah down, no. You keep it at the same standard it is, and you bring the people to it, you raise them up to it. But you have to just, everywhere you go, make a Kiddush Hashem. Try. Always wear your kibbutz, wear CC, try to keep them out if you can, or if you're Sephardi and that's your way, then don't. But have people know you're Jewish, make Kiddush Hashem around the place, and obviously it'll help you with your tshuva. It's a very big schlut to be able to do that. And Rabbi Yaron says in Shari Tshuva, he says that if you did things in the past, like God forbid somebody did a chilul Hashem, obviously nobody could count back and see all their deeds. We don't have an Arizal that could look at your forehead and tell you everything you did in your entire lifetime. Or the rabbis that used to be able to do that. Look inside yourself, see what deeds you did. If you see you did something, try to do a Kiddush Hashem. Rabbi Yaron says that the worst sin, obviously, is chilul Hashem. So he says a way to do teshuva for that, do a Kiddush Hashem. So try everywhere you go, make Kiddush Hashem everywhere you go. And that itself, who knows, could possibly have an effect on somebody. It can make somebody else do tshuva. It can make somebody else get closer to Hashem. And also, I think that people have to stop with all the terms. Maybe I'm modern, you're Orthodox, or modern Orthodox, Machmir, whatever I said before. You're Jewish or you're not. And every single person has an obligation to tshuva. It says, V'shavta ad Hashem lekecha v'shamata b'kolo. You have to listen, return to Hashem, your God, and listen to his voice. It's literally one of the 613 commandments. All Jews have to do it. If the Arizal, if Rabbi Akiva, if Moshe Rabbeinu had to do Shuvah, everybody has to do Shuvah. Nobody's too high for it. And I guess the last part is definitely, if you ever see yourself get into a hole or anything like that, reach out to HaShem. Pray to him in your own words, English, Spanish, any language, Hebrew if you know Hebrew. Say a prayer to him, cry to him. He'll help. I can tell you, I had many times in my life where even this few years I've been doing stuff, I prayed to HaShem, I cried, whatever it was, and he answers, and it's fast. It's not like it comes, sometimes it takes some time, but we say in Tehillim, Lev nishba v'nikeh Elokim lo tivzeh. It's in Tehillim 51. HaShem never holds back, he doesn't hold back from answering a broken heart. Always, definitely. Thank you so much for having me on.
Thank you for taking the time. I know you have to go pray now, but thank you very much for taking the time doing this. You're going to get a lot of merits for it. It's definitely going to help people. Like I said, we have a lot of different kinds of people, and everyone can relate to each person, without a doubt. So thank you again. And Bezat Hashem will be in touch. If you need anything, you can contact the organization. Obviously you're probably in touch with the rabbi, but Bezat Hashem, this will help many people, and it'll help people, in their process and return to Hashem. So, Jeremy, thank you very much, and Bezat Hashem will be in touch. Like I said, maybe next time you can interview me for mine.
I'm sure your story's gonna be a lot better than mine anyway. I guess California, I stayed within the tri-state most of the time anyways.
Everyone has their own thing. A lot of times you don't know why things happen until you see a little longer why Hashem does things. It's amazing. All right, Jeremy. Thanks, man. I appreciate it very much.
Have a great festival if I don't talk to you.
You too. Thank you.
A very special thank you to all our amazing guests who show real Ahavat Yisrael by taking the time out of their busy schedules and sharing their ups and downs with us, all for the sake of Am Yisrael. May Hashem continue to bless you 1,000-fold. If you enjoyed this video, you can find more of these podcasts on our website at www.bezathashem.org. If you're on YouTube, be sure to subscribe to the channel to hear more highly influencing lectures and stories like the one you heard here today. Thank you for watching, and Bezat Hashem, may we all have the merit to return to Hashem.